competition. I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my face, like in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I pray to God, he never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change.
Good evening and welcome to the WSL Post Show here at the Margaret River Pro in Western Australia. What a day for pro surfing history as we see Isabella Nichols fresh off her victory over Joanne Defay, keeping her dream alive to potentially make it past the cut. Bella's with Laura.
Wow, Bella, surfing into the dark here this afternoon. A beautiful West Oz sunset out there for your heat, but what a day, keeping your tour dreams alive.
Oh my gosh, at the end there was dolphins jumping around, like the sunset over the water was just absolutely incredible. I don't know what to say, I'm just stoked. So cliche, I know.
I mean, coming into this event, you knew you needed a big result, and you obviously still do, but you know, you keep fighting and fighting.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, I feel like I perform my best when my back's against the wall, and I've just really had to like calm myself down these past couple heats, and I mean, it'll be what it'll be, really.
And talk about it out there this afternoon. Obviously it's slower, but how important was that for you to just find the right waves? And you obviously capitalised on that 683.
Yeah, wave selection out here is like probably the most important place where you actually have to get your wave selection right here at Margaret River. Just because there's not too many opportunities in the heat, especially this afternoon, and patience game pays off.
And obviously looking forward to a bit of a rest. It's been a huge day.
It's been an absolutely massive day. Like I didn't surf till like this afternoon anyway, but just hanging around, the anticipation, obviously the stress and anxiety that's like there underlying. Yeah, happy to survive.
Faith and trust. We'll see you into the semi-finals. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Isabella Nichols.
Thank you. Cheers.
So great to hear from Isabella Nichols. She looked incredible in that heat. Obviously things slowed down a little bit wave-wise, but Bella was just looking controlled, confident, didn't look like a surfer under the pressure of surviving the mid-season cut, Shannon.
Yeah, she's really found this way to feel at home, to feel relaxed, and to approach it with a bit more fun than she has the rest of the season so far. And I mean, it's paying off at the moment.
Pretty crazy day, Bugs. You've seen everything in pro surfing history coming down to today. What did we really witness, and how big of a change is that really for pro surfing?
Well, it was a pretty momentous day, you know, historic in a unique way. You know, it was an emotional day. I've never seen so many post-heat interviews, even with the winners though, that were showing so much emotion, and there was a fair bit of stress. There was it was a kind of a stressful day, and Isabella really wrapped it up there, that she had to sort of stick around all day waiting for a heat, and that underlying cut, you know, was always omnipresent, and I think that dominated the day.
Well, pressure was felt from that morning free surf this morning. Everyone just trying to get a warm-up where there's a lot of tension on the line. And then the whole story of the leaderboard changes. Forget about the whole cut thing. The top 9 in the world heading into this event on the women's side knocked out of the event heading into finals day, Shannon. That doesn't happen at every stop on tour.
That hardly happens ever. I mean, absolutely insane to think that everything was really been flipped on its head, and now it's opened up this conversation of who's even going to make it to G-Land.
Well, this was a clutch performance from a rookie named Gabrielle O'Brien that's surfing for her spot on tour. She's in the mix now, sitting at number 10 on the live rankings, as just right behind Malia Manuel, but she was able to take out current world number 1 Brisa Hennessy in this first quarterfinal, Bugs.
This has been an amazing performance by the young girl from Hawaii. She's just been relentless in her attack all day, and it's really paid off.
Brisa obviously surfing incredibly well at Margaret River main break. Had just got the news she'd retake the yellow. She ended up getting some damage to her wetsuit, and also a board that she's called a bit of magic. She repaired the board at Bell's. She dinged the nose of it heading onto the bricks, but a happy relationship with her coach Reynos Hayes, and Gabrielle O'Brien kind of was feeding off the crazy energy in a positive way. She saw fellow members of the rookie class get knocked off tour, and she just put her head down and went to work, Shannon.
Yeah, it was really incredible to see the resilience that Gabrielle O'Brien has. She's the most consistent of the rookie class, given her campaign on the Challenger Series with those 3 runner-up finishes out of 4 events. 3 finals out of 4 comps. That's very impressive with such a stacked field. I am not surprised in the least that she's the rookie left in the pack to try and get herself that midseason cut.
It's cool to see that connection of a hot streak like you're mentioning through Challenger Series, where she's still building her profile. She had a blank surfboard during that run. Now she's got sponsor backing, bigger dreams, and you want to see how these athletes handle things when their career's on the line, and Gabrielle O'Brien did that today. Her job's not done yet, Bugs.
Well, you know, she's surfing with a maturity well beyond her age and her experience at this level, and it's mind-blowing to see, you know, what did happen today. And she led this sort of rookie charge that continued on.
Obviously 2 spots left to confirm for the top 10 that will be moving on to G-Land. And one story for a local hero named Bronte Macaulay was brilliant to watch today, because she had the most decorated world champions in her way in the draw, from Carissa Moore and then to this heat with Stephanie Gilmore getting a buzzer beater that had all of WA applauding. Shannon.
Oh, we were all chicken skin and just so excited to see her walk away with a victory over the 7-time world champion to take Steph Gilmore out when Steph has so much on the line as well. She already knew that she'd gotten that re-qualification, so I do wonder if that played into maybe Steph's mindset, feeling a little more relaxed paddling out. But for Bronte Macaulay, for her to hold it together when it was a slow heat, I heard her coming out of the lineup, I heard her on the steps mention to Laura Endever, just one of those. Margaret's has those really slow heats, and she happened to end up as the surfer in the midst to have to deal with it. One of them was going to come out on top, and we couldn't be more stoked to see it go to the local.
She had a lot of lightness about herself today, loving the conditions. Her father, Dave Macaulay, heard the explosion from the VIP section upstairs. And that was his confirmation that his daughter had gotten the score on the last wave to move on to another semifinal performance in back-to-back events at Margaret River, Bugs.
Yeah, this was a feel-good victory, and it's funny how, Shannon, you said, you know, Stephanie knew that she went out before, that she'd made the cut. Maybe it did take a little bit of edge off her, but right at the end there, it was a clutch performance to actually pull it out of the fire and progress, and, well, the whole beach erupted.
See how much it changed towards the evening. It was incredibly slow. 8.9 combined total for that victory for Bronte to move on to the semifinals. And I feel like when the cut talk was kind of around the whole area, she's been an injury replacement wild card this year for Caroline Marks. So I think she honestly wasn't even spending any time worried about the rest of the season, and she was able to get the job done as we check out the final series. Gabby Bryan with a chance to qualify for the back end of the year. The same story for Bronte and Isabella Nichols. Bella's got to make the final. Bronte's got to win the event. And then Courtney will just be that danger card, one of the best ever at main break.
Yeah, it's going to be impressive to see who can make it past Courtney, whether it's Gabby in the semifinals or one of the other two in that final matchup. It'll also be exciting to see if we get a Gabby matchup with either Bronte or Isabella. We will see one of those finalists taking that opportunity onto the rest of the season. Such
an interesting story when it comes to the whole re-qualification run. Courtney didn't know that she was confirmed when she was in her last quarterfinal heat. Her mom wanted her to stay incredibly focused, and then she got the news, and all she said was, I'm going to get barreled. She was already thinking about making it to G-Land, Bugs.
Yeah, no, it's a big prize, and Courtney's she came into Australia way down the list, and enormous pressure on her, and she's delivered.
And now you think about Malia Manuel, that spot is in jeopardy, and it's probably really tough as a surfer when you can't do it yourself. She was knocked out of the event already today, and we'll have to wait to see what Gabrielle O'Brien does, Isabella Nichols, and also Bronte Macaulay, how we're going to finalize those last 2 spots.
It's pretty crazy, too, because Malia came into this season as the WSL seasonal wild card. That spot could have gone to Bronte Macaulay just based off of how last year went out, and it went to Malia. WSL made that decision. Now Bronte has that opportunity to take it back from Malia and get the rest of the season.
So many stories in the lead up to what was going to happen this year, and today on Saturday at Margaret River, we finally faced this whole story of the midseason cut. Let's get into it. Making the cut is the whole story about 2022. For the first time having a cut at stop number 5 here at the Margaret River Pro, taking the top 10 women and also the top 22 men into the back end of the season. It's never been done like this before. When we got into play here at Margaret River. It's stop number 5. We had a few surfers that knew they were already confirmed, but we had a lot to surfers ready to fight for a spot on the championship tour on the back end of the season to potentially be a part of the Rip Curl WSL Finals. The surfers that made the cut: Brisa Hennessy, Carissa Moore, Tyler Wright, Lakey Peterson, Joanne Defay, Tatiana Weston-Webb, 7-time world champ Stephanie Gilmore, and Courtney Conlogue also getting the news today. Great to see those stories, especially for Gilmore. She'll still be able to contest for an 8th world title this year.
Oh, incredible to know that that is still an opportunity for her, given the changes that have taken place in women's surfing since she first qualified and got those 4 back-to-back world titles.
Yeah, she's been on fire, looking like she's totally engaged with pro surfing and fighting to break that record that she holds with Lane Beachley as well. We also have surfers that are under the cut, still trying to see what their tour will be looking like, if it is the Challenger Series or if it will be the Championship Tour. Under the cut, it was a lot of rookie names like Molly Picklum, Luana Silva, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, India Robinson from that rookie class that were under the cut. We know Caroline Marks has been taking time off this year, so she didn't have really any points to talk about. The headline name, a veteran on tour, Sally Fitzgibbons, had that tough news, but Bugs, she handled it just like the champion she is.
Well, after 14 seasons on tour, she never ever missed an event in that whole 14 years. Every event she's made, and to hear that she's made that, she didn't make it and she's going to Snapper, she had a brilliant sort of response. I thought the positivity. She said, "Bring it on." I think she said there's a pool full of piranhas waiting for her.
Yeah, it's really interesting. With Fitzgibbons, you don't worry about her. Heading to the Challenger Series, she's going to make new goals for herself and going into locations where she has so much experience and wins. When you think about all the reps she's had at Snapper Rocks, from Saquarema, winning in Brazil in her career, also Hossiger, France. She's going to be the big name in the locker room in the Challenger Series.
Oh, she's going to be the one to beat 100% with the amount of time she has spent in the jersey in comparison to any other woman competing on the Challenger Series this season. It's going to be a question mark of, can she not win the Challenger Series to requalify?
100%. Also, the names that weren't on those lists, we're still yet to establish what's going to happen for Malia Manuel in the back end of the year. Also, Bronte Macaulay, as she's trying to go all the way to a win. Isabella Nichols as well. We'll see what happens with her and Gabriella Bryan. It's so hard to make predictions these days, Bugs. Do you see how that one's going to play out?
Well, look, if today it was the running of the Kentucky Derby, the top 9 horses all fell out. They all didn't finish the race, and we've got these 4 semi-finalists that you just wouldn't have picked it at the start of the day. And I mean, all credit to them.
Really cool to see these great performances lift today, especially a very special wave that was ridden by Australia's Molly Picklum. She didn't make the cut, but she did earn the Boost Mobile Wave of the Day. 917 on her way to knock out a 2-time world champ and world number 2, Tyler Wright.
She had the 3-time world champion Mick Fanning ringing up her coach, Glenn Micro Hall, after this wave was caught, going, "This is the type of surfing we see from Molly Picklum in her free surfs all the time. This is what we want to see her bring to the championship tour." And I'm so sad she didn't make it through above that cut line for the rest of the season. But this woman, she has a very bright future ahead of her and many world titles to claim.
That 917 made a lot of noise around the surfing world, Bugs, from Mick Fanning texting Micro, everyone comparing it to like a John turn. How was your reaction from the youngster today?
I was so impressed. It was a breakthrough, moment, one of those watershed moments in someone's career that you went, there's the potential, and it's gold-plated.
And then Molly Picklum shook off the news that she didn't qualify for G-Land, went for a surf quickly with Glenn Micro Hall, as she'll be preparing for Snapper Rocks at the first stop of the Challenger Series in less than a week. On the men's side, things were interesting. A very short day, but it was a really impactful 4 heats run in the elimination round. Obviously, 3rd place losing, and it was a tough one for WA in particular, losing Jack Thomas, Ben Spence, and Jacob Wilcox in 3 straight matchups. And then one of the top seeds going down in Heat 4 is Seth Moniz, is still trying to find the rhythm again after what was a brilliant start over at Pipeline.
Oh, Seth had the most incredible start to the year. And it's tough, though, when you get those victories to then go and back it up. It's one of the hardest things to do in sport. So for Seth, it's understandable, but a hard loss for him to go out in the elimination round. And tough to see that all of our local wildcards are out of the draw on the men's side.
So true. This was a battle. There's a lot on the line for a re-qualification when you focus on Sammy Pupo and Matthew McGillivray in this seat. So you kind of felt like Seth might have been free from all of that and surfed like the top seed that he is. It felt like he was actually dealing with the most pressure bugs.
Well, this heat was the heat where it was all on the line. I mean, with the wild cards is a different scenario, but this heat here, it had it all. Seth came out of the blocks really firing. Then Samuel Pupo, he was on the wave behind, and he really established himself in this heat.
Sammy Pupo looked electric. He looked comfortable. He had the entire Brazilian storm on the steps. And, you know, with Medina's absence, you know, Adriano de Souza moving on, Felipe is turned into the captain of that Brazilian storm, and Sammy felt that energy today.
Oh, I think it's just been the best shift there for Felipe to walk into that kind of figure overseeing the rest of that pack, and for Sammy to rise to the occasion. His boards were just looking electric under his feet, and great to see Matt McGillivray make it through into the next round as well. Very important moment for him.
Checking out the numbers as we saw Sammy Pupo. He's 18th in the world heading into this event. We'll give you an update on the live rankings, but he's trying to keep some space ahead of that 22 mark. McGillivray with much more work to do as he's pretty far back on the rankings, but happy to be in second. Moving on to the round of 32. Laura Enever caught up with Matthew McGillivray after that advancement.
Maddie, awesome heat, making it through past that elimination round. How important was that for you?
Yeah, every heat counts so much in this event because you either, there's the cut happening, so you're either going on the championship tour or you're on the Challenger Series. So it's going through everyone's mind. Every time they surf a heat now, there's a lot more weights. And I think, like for myself, I've been trying to stay out of my head and I'm trying to enjoy my experience at this event. It's a contest I did well at last year, so I'm trying to channel some of that mojo. And yeah, I love the waves here at Margaret River. The forecast is looking pretty good for the rest of the event, so I'm looking forward to just hopefully getting a few more waves out there and having some fun. And yeah, let's try and make some more heats.
Thanks, Maddie. All the best.
You can see that nervous energy, but happy energy for South Africa's Maddie McGillivray. Shannon, you've been watching this kid grow up at Jeffreys Bay, and obviously a lot of positives for him, knowing that this was his best result last season as a rookie on tour. He has a great connection with main break, but how is he going to handle the pressure?
I think he's going to do just great. Having that success out here last year, the semifinals, this sort of wave really suits his style as well. He's a power surfer now. Growing up, he was really technical. He had a lot of those really finite measures of his surfing figured out, but now that he's grown into the power surfer that he is, if we get the forecast that we are expecting, the big waves on offer, he's going to be a tough one for Kanoa to take down.
Kanoa Igarashi with the draw with Maddie McGillivray for the round of 32. As this event continues, we're going to take a quick break on the WSL Post Show. Up next, the top 5 of the day. Also, a pretty incredible look at the Surfline forecast. It's going to be pumping. We'll be right back. The WSL acknowledges the Wadandi people as the traditional owners of the Margaret River region and thank them for welcoming us to their buja, or their country. We pay our respects to the Wadandi community and their elders, past and present. WSL is committed to the ongoing learning about local history, culture, and the language of Wadandi Buja, the saltwater people's country. They've asked us all to walk softly on their country and respect the ocean and the waterways, and we wish to extend this acknowledgement and respect to other First Nations people who join us in person and online. It's great to learn new words like hello, kaya. It's a great expression, and just to pick up all the new local customs. It's such a pleasure to be on Wadandi country and here on the Harvey and Norman host set for the WSL Post Show. Joe Trappell, Shannon Hughes, and Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew. Anytime you get to an event, and obviously, Bugs, you've been at the helm of pro surfing, obviously winning titles, but also as a former CEO. I mean, you can't talk about the wave forecast enough. You're always predicting, seeing what's going to unfold. Last two events in a row, I feel like it continues to improve as we go through the waiting period.
And unexpectedly, you know, Bell's turned around with Margaret River. Well, this place is unbelievable. This coastline is incredible. It's just, look at that. It comes out of the roaring 40s. It just comes up here out of the deep Southern Ocean and Indian Ocean. And we are going to get whacked by some big surf.
You see all those purple blobs and red blobs heading to Margaret River. We're seeing an XL southwest swell that's peaking on Tuesday. We're talking gigantic conditions. Today's Saturday, so tomorrow's Sunday. That's 5 to 7. Still very clean. We're showing up for the call tomorrow. But Shannon, look at those numbers increase, especially on Tuesday.
Well, that's the wild thing. Looking at Tuesday, Wednesday with those offshore winds, you know, peaking around 18 foot. We could have some insane surfing, maybe unmanageable, maybe some of the best, most powerful turns that we will have witnessed in professional surfing coming up next week.
Are we finally going to see a board over 6'2" these days, Bugs? What's going to happen on Tuesday?
Well, I mean, if yesterday or a couple of days ago was 12 to 15 feet, and we're talking about 18 to 20 feet, we might have to go to a 6'3".
These days, that's the modern day big wave gun. A lot to look forward to, obviously starting tomorrow with that call in the 5 to 7 foot range. But now it's time for the daily top 5 on a pretty incredible Saturday here at the Margaret River Pro. Always fun to see who's going to make this top 5 list of the best moments, starting at number 5, getting coached and fired up by Greg Browning. Tatiana gets 5th on the list, getting into the 9s with her back end today, Shannon.
Such impressive surfing. The defending champion from 2021 right out here at Main Break. For her to find herself into that excellent range again and to literally put her body on the line to risk that in section, but knowing that's what the judges want, it was an extremely strong kickoff.
She was so confident with that one, getting number 4 on the top 5. Kyle Belly, how did he control this air job, Bucks?
This was unbelievable. We were calling this heat, and he was off his board completely. The board was facing the wrong way. The wrong rail was in the water. He didn't land it flush, but somehow he pulled it off, and what an incredible performance.
Special connection for Kai Ubeli, still enjoying his best year on tour in the making. Number 3, of course, what a performance that we saw earlier, a 9.17 for this beautiful surfing for Molly Picklum.
It was just one of those moments where we got to see her unleash to find a few good waves, to get some rhythm out here at a wave that we would expect her to find excellence at. For her to link together those cars and then to find this one near the finish of that heat was, I mean, I could watch that over and over and over again.
One of the coolest turns we've seen in this event, one of the best waves we've seen Molly ride on the championship tour. She eliminated number 2 in the world, Tyler Wright. Amazing performance there. Tyler had to shake off a tough loss, but Molly deserved every bit of that win and earned number 3 on the daily top 5. Number 2 was Courtney Conlogue's performance, and as she clinched a spot for the back end of the season, Bugs.
Yeah, she brushed off some enormous pressure coming in here, but it's been a happy hunting ground for Courtney Conlogue, and she really clinched her semi-final berth with style and panache.
Really fun to see Courtney's love for Main Break. Every time she comes here to compete, she's won multiple times, and even under pressure, she put on one of her better performances in a long time out here.
Yeah, it was really great to see her come alive, and then to hear the news while after, you know, the buzzer sounds that she has made the cut for Kaipo to deliver that to her. Her mom held on to it to keep her focused and ready to go.
And it's a WA hero, Bronte Macaulay, taking out the post show with the #1 performance, taking out 2 big world champions along the way. Stephanie Gilmore, she did that one on the buzzer. Carissa Moore before that, Bugs. That was sensational.
It was sensational, and you know, Bronte had a day for the ages here, and she would have made her goofy-footed father very proud.
She looked content. She looked patient. She wasn't trying to rush things. That was the news. Dave heard the eruption from upstairs and realized she did enough to get the score.
She did more than enough. Dave and her partner Will there just feeling so excited to see Bronte finding rhythm this season. At Bells, she came back swinging, looked in top form. I'm so excited to see Bronte in that same mindset coming into Margaret River the way that she knows better than any other woman in the lineup.
Really cool. Bronte was sitting next to Carissa Moore at the press conference going into this event. I had no idea they'd have a matchup so early, and Bronte ended up winning. Bronte had some kind words about Carissa Moore and her dedication to the sport and being a really nice human being as well, battling it out for a spot into the final series, upsetting a couple of big world champions. Bronte's on quite a roll, and she could potentially qualify if she wins this event, Bugs.
Yeah, that's a big dream, and you know, it's really wide open, and with the top seeds out, Bronte in incredible form, anything could happen.
Easy for you to pick a winner on the women's side since we're down to the semifinals, Shannon?
I'm going to go with Bronte. I'm throwing it out there. She's going to maybe get that re-qualification. We've also got Isabella Nichols and Gabriella Bryan with that potential to get a spot through as well.
Bugs, agree or disagree?
Yeah, look, definitely on the sentimental favourite, the hometown favourite, but I got a feeling Gabriella Bryan's still got something left in her kit bag too. I'm thinking she's going to be the dark horse.
I love that call.
That's a great call. If that happens, it'd be 2 fresh winners getting a CT event win for the first time on road to trying to qualify for the back end of the season. Well, it's dark outside. The sun's gone down. We're probably going to sleep here on the Harvey Norman host set because we have an early call tomorrow at 7 a.m. local time on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you bright and early. Take care.
It is going to be an intense day of competition because the cut is officially here.
Dreams will be broken today.
The intensity could be felt in the warm-up session. There's a lot on the line with the elimination rounds.
Good surfing here from Lakey.
Just a polished performance, but really, really good surfing from Luana Silva in a clutch situation.
Turn up the volume, sugar. There ain't no holding back. This ain't a test now, honey. I'm a real soundtrack. Pump up the color player. Push till you cross the edge. Nothing like they expected. Countdown to contact.
A solid performance for Jansen Andre from start to finish. Weightless on the re-entry into the flats. David Silva heads the same direction.
Take a seat, 'cause I don't get better than this.
The surfer representing Portugal drives through his first carve. Frederico Moraes did it beautifully. Jacob Wilcox falling short.
Take a seat, 'cause I don't get better than this. Ain't taking no more prisoners. Better get out the way. Nothing like they expected. Countdown to contact.
That was likely Seth's last shot at it.
Oh, wow, that could have been it. You can see the disappointment.
And it's Samuel Pupo who really did put on a show for us.
This round of women's is going to be so exciting.
Carissa with priority is going to go. A lot of power. Luana, it's going to be a heartbreak situation for her now.
Gabriella Bryan, a monstrous power hack to kick it off.
And the rookie in Gabriella Bryan taking out Tatiana Weston-Webb.
Molly Picklum now, big swing, big frontside hook. It will be a huge win for the rookie on tour. World number 2 is knocked out.
In the middle of the action. In the middle of the rain. It's gonna be my day.
What a performance from Bronte. Dad is buzzing. Steph draws up into a steep section. Dynamic turn out of the top.
India throws the head back in disgust.
A look of anguish, certainly not safe now.
Lakey, a former event champ, just been knocked out of the event.
This has just been the most bizarre day of competition surfing we've ever seen. Well done, take it.
Thanks, I'll take it.
Big win for Defay over Sally Fitzgibbons on a dramatic day here at the Margaret River Pro. The quarterfinals are starting next.
Gabby Bryan advancing through into the semifinals, keeping herself above the cut line.
Conlogue absolutely going to town on this wave.
It's time to rise up. It's time to stand firm. It's time to stay strong. Now I know where I belong. It's time to wake up and keep the faith strong. It's time to move on. Now I know where I belong.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.